Good morning. It's JC, St. Louis's oldest living hippie, bringing you a Raw Story Plus. And this one's about the H.R. 1 bill, or Donald Trump's so called Big Beautiful Bill Act. Anyway, this is the bill that's sitting in the Senate and everybody's fighting over it. And it turns out there's one provision in the bill that's actually good. But red states seem to don't want that provision to still stay in the bill. But if you need Medicaid and you live in a red state, this would help you vastly with your medical costs. So let's just listen to this. It is an interesting article, only a couple minutes long.
You leave us with only one path. Red states furious at section in Trump's bill. H.R. 1, President Donald Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act, contains one provision that may prove to be both financially and politically costly for Republicans, particularly those from the reddest states. In the U.S. Politico reported Friday that the legislation contains a provision that would end up forcing all states to expand Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act, ACA, which is something Republican-run states have been hesitant to do since the ACA became law in 2010. South Carolina Hospital Association Chief Executive Thornton Kirby warned that the legislation affects the viability of the whole healthcare system in the Palmetto State. Under H.R. 1, states that haven't yet expanded Medicaid would take a significant financial hit, as they would reduce what health insurance companies pay states who contract with them to provide Medicaid coverage in order to pay for the 10-year extension of Trump's 2017 tax cuts, which are overwhelmingly skewed in favor of the wealthiest Americans. Kirby said in South Carolina alone, the legislation could cost $2.3 billion per year. Read more. Supreme Court Justice suggests her colleagues have been taken in by moneyed interests. If you take away this alternative way to balance the budget, you leave us with only one path: Medicaid expansion, he said. However, under the ACA, significant federal subsidies are provided to all states that expand Medicaid, meaning red states like South Carolina would need those federal subsidies to shore up their finances. Kirby told Politico he's been pushing Representative Russell Fry, RSC, Senator Tim Scott, RSC, and Governor Henry McMaster, R, to push for the final bill to exclude the restrictions on state-directed payments to insurers. I don't want to put him in the hot seat, Kirby said of the governor. He doesn't want to see Medicaid upended. H.R. 1 has already underwent significant changes in the Senate since passing the House in May. Even though Republicans enjoy a 53-47 majority in the upper chamber of Congress, the bill's passage is far from assured, with senators with a high concentration of Medicaid beneficiaries like Josh Hawley or Mo communicating that they're unlikely to vote for a bill that would significantly cut the HEAF insurance program for low-income and disabled Americans. Read more. Narcissistic man-child, Trump ripped for demanding the Nobel Peace Prize? Click here to read Politico's full article.
This article was apparently first published in Politico, which is also a good source. So as you can see, the Republicans in the Senate are not happy with a lot of aspects of the H.R. 1 big and beautiful bill that Trump has put forward. And I don't know how soon they're going to get anything passed, because this is going to be a long, tough fight between Trump, the House, and the Senate, all three going at each other's throats over what's in the bill. And my only hope is that the conservatives in the Senate join with the liberals in the Senate to either kill this thing or fix it so that it doesn't kill Medicaid, Medicare, or Social Security. To name some of the things that the bill could really hurt. But one thing that's already out of the bill in the Senate is the idea of making courts boast a bond if they want to get a temporary restraining order. In other words, you'd have to put up money in order for the judge to rule that you have a temporary restraining order against a company, a person, a place, whatever. So anyway, that's already out of the bill. Everybody knew that was unconstitutional. So thank God for that. Anyway, this is JC, St. Louis's oldest living hippie, saying, I'm going to the dogs. No, I've got to feed my dogs. So I'm going to get off here and say this is somewhat reasonably good news. So anyway, fuck you, Donald Trump. And to all my friends, families, followers, subscribers, pox some more, Jack, and keep on trucking.